Konnichiwa people! In today's video we're going to break down one of the most important topics, which is the character stats. I want to do a massive shout out to RegQQ, who was the guy that managed to sneak me in back to my China account. Although it's not my original account because I fucked up in the verification, it doesn't really matter because I managed to log into an account, create a character and actually return to content, which is the important part here. Bear with me in this video because it's gonna be a little longer, but the grasp that you're gonna get out of it, it's gonna be pretty much meaningful. And you will have a better understanding, way better understanding of the game and how builds work. If you understand the stats, you will be eligible to make builds by yourself, know what items to aim and all those important information. Without further delay, let's dive in. When you're in game, if you open the character menu, you will see at the right all your attributes being displayed. Now, at the top bar, you will see basic attributes, which are your basic stats, let's say, and enhanced attributes below. All the basic attributes will grow based on your level. As you level up, basic attributes will grow, enhanced attributes can grow from there, along with basic attributes can be obtained from all the sources that the game provides power, let's say, or gear score, like items, gems, nodes, etc. Now, 4 out of 5, except health, can be obtained from gear. As you can see, gear provides dexterity, stamina, physical defense, always the same, okay? In some cases, instead of physical defense, for DPSs, you might get, as you saw from my ring, attack. Now, as you might guessing, yes, for me, that since I'm a rogue, it's more important to wear attack rather than defense. But we're gonna explain in depth soon. What I want to mention here, and this goes along with your gameplay, you will never get loot that each for another class. Every single time you will obtain loot, either it's from boxes, either it's from dungeons, either it's from raids, or even it's from quests. Every time you will obtain gear for your class. Now, the game separates that basic stat over here, which in our case it's dexterity. It separates dexterity to intelligence for other classes and strength for other classes. Now, since I've mentioned that we are a rogue, in our case, every single time we're gonna obtain dexterity for our gear. Beginning with explanation of the stats, as you see, dexterity increases a small amount of attack. Despite the definition that it's a small amount of attack, trust me, it's more than a small amount and it's insignificant small. What I mean by that? Since for every single class, the main attribute will provide attack, okay? It's for all the classes the same. Either it is strength, either it is strength, sorry, either it is intelligence. It's always gonna be a small amount of attack. How small that is? As you can see, my attack now it's 181. If I remove 2 pieces of gear, 20 and 30, it's about 50 dexterity, okay? As you can see, my attack will fall to 180. So 50 of my basic attribute, around 50, I don't know the exact number, but around 50 dexterity, okay, it's one attack. 50 of your main attribute, it's one attack. So imagine how significant that is. And why I wanted to mention that, because as I showed earlier, items, for example, like this ring, that provides flat 28 attack, and if you consider that 50 dexterity is one attack, imagine how much dexterity that is. So, is the main attribute an important stat? Maybe not, but we're gonna see that in depth soon. Now, stamina, it's a very simple stat, provides HP and HP recovery. Worth to mention that HP recovery works only if you are out of combat. If you are in combat, you can't regenerate HP. We mentioned earlier about attack. Attack affects your damage and converted proportionally into healing. That means that healers also scale based to attack, so have that in mind as well. If you want better healings, you have to have a high attack. So getting the stat also for healers might be more important. Health, it provides flat HP, very simple. Physical defense reduces the physical damage you take. And physical damage in same level battles is reduced by 13.3%. Now, the definition of same level battles and below works as you are facing opponents in the same level. This will be always the percentage that it's gonna apply in the battle. In case the opponent is a higher level, make your guess that that ratio will get lower depending on the level of the opponent that you are facing. Now, since I removed 2 pieces of gear to showcase attack, as we can see we have 290 physical defense, 13.3. This is also applies 20, it's around 60 physical defense. As you can see, 60 of physical defense is almost 2% point something at physical damage reduction. So this is also an important info for the tanks. If you want to build up your gear based as it's mine, well, now it's the early state of the game and the game provides you with those stats. Later on, a better optimization will be to find for DPS, of course, something like that, that's its attack and dexterity stamina, for example. But for tanks, it's gonna be like this. Main stat, strength, of course, stamina, physical defense. Okay, so building up on physical defense, it's gonna provide you an insignificant, a significant amount of damage reduction in total. Now, we covered the basic attributes. I'm gonna move on to enhanced attributes, which is stats obtained from outer sources, gear, gems, nodes, emblems, etc. Talents. Critical, very simple. Critical points affect critical trigger chance, 5% for same level battles. I'm not gonna explain it again, you got the idea how same level battles apply. Now, when a skill lands a critical damage or healing is amplified. That means that even it's a damage skill, either it's heal, it can also crit. So heals can also crit. Okay? Now, moving to the confusing part. Combo. Combo points affect combo trigger chance. So higher the rate, as you can see if you start stacking combo, enhanced 31, 63, in total I have 221, that's being translated in 17% for a combo to trigger. Now, combo, it's not a critical, okay? Forget it, move it out of your mind. Combo is something unique in this game, and it triggers with every source of damage or healing. Because as you can see below, damage or healing is calculated separately when a skill combo is made. That means that, for example, if I have a skill that also inflicts damage and also heals, I might get a combo for my heal, and I might get a combo at the same time for my damage spell. Now, I'm gonna explain glancing later. Now, let's see something as well. But let me mention also, so you can understand it better, that combo, it doesn't trigger based on the damage that you inflicted, even if it's 100 damage from a hit. Either it's 2 million damage from a skill, the combo damage, the damage that you will apply to your opponent, will be always the same. Let's move on to a showcase so you guys can understand, okay? Let's see that I inflict a skill. You will see this is the normal indication of the damage I applied. As you can see, that 138 number that it was displayed there, and 138 from my hits is the combo, okay? Every time I do hits or a damage spell, it doesn't matter what you are doing, there is a chance to get a combo. 137, 138. Now, if I do a skill, as you saw, 137. The same damage again is being inflicted, as I trigger the combo, 138. It's gonna be always the same damage, and it scales based on your attack, okay? So it doesn't matter if I do skill or hit, the combo damage, as you saw, it's gonna be always the same. Now, important info about the combo. It doesn't matter, okay, if it's a one animation skill, like this skill that does only one-time damage. But if it's a multi-hit, like this, as you saw, 4 hits are being made, but I only triggered one combo, it is possible to trigger a combo on each one of them. So it's possible doing this skill that provides 4 times damage to trigger combo 4 times. And also important, all those times that I will inflict combo, there is also a chance on top of that to crit, okay? How glancing works, okay? As you can see, total glancing chance for same level battles is 5%, but as long as you increase your total points in glancing, that 5% chance will be higher. So in that exact scenario, it would be 17% glancing chance instead of 17% combo chance, since all our points from combo would be transferred to glancing, okay? And what that does, it's for tanks only, for tank specialization only, and you have a chance based on the total amount of points in glancing to trigger glancing, and the initial damage reduction, it's 25%. So if you don't have something that also pushes the damage reduction from glancing, you will get on top of your physical defense decrease and another 25% decrease on the total damage that you are going to receive. Okay? I don't know if I made myself clear, but I think I did my best to explain how that works. Okay? Now, moving to Omni. Omni provides effect bonus, as you can see. Actually, it's pretty nice now that we have low stats to showcase the exact numbers that you gain also from those stats, because around 240 or 50 it's the low items, and the high end items it's around 150, near to 200. So Omni provides effect bonus. That effect bonus for DPS specs and healers will increase your final damage or your final healing. Now, when I switch, and by that I mean this thing. Let's say that I attack, okay? Let's say that my attack will inflict combo. My combo will crit, okay? And we will have a total damage, for example, at 500. On top of that, we will have a multiplication of our Omni, our final damage. Let's make it simple. Let's say that I will do 100 damage in total, okay? I trigger a critical, it would be 150 total damage, and on top of that, I would do, 0.5% more from the 150 damage that I applied. Okay, so it's a multiplication after the final damage will be amplified. On top of that, you get a multiplication for your final damage dealt. Now, in terms of DPS specs or healer specs, that's the case with Omni. If you are playing a tank, instead of effect bonus, instead of increasing your final damage received, you get something else that we're gonna view it soon, which is damage immunity. It's not immunity to damage, it's something, it does something else, but soon I'm gonna explain that as well. Let's move to cooldown. Cooldown now, it's also an important stat, and it might affect a lot of builds, because it doesn't only reduces the cooldown of your skills, which is how fast can you recast the same skill that you used, for example. Okay, let's say that you have 10 seconds cooldown on a skill. As you can see, I have 1% cooldown here. I would be able to use the same skill at 9.9 seconds again, instead of 10 seconds, okay? It's pretty straightforward. But also, it increases your cast time. Cast time, for the people that don't know the exact definition, cast time is actually how fast the effect or the damage that it's gonna be applied to your target, how fast that source will take effect, okay? It's like an attack speed sorry on skills. And global cooldown also will be reduced. What is global cooldown for those that don't know? For WoW players, you might actually know what that is, but let me showcase what global cooldown is. If you can see my skills below, when I use a skill, you see that all my skills get a sort of cooldown, and I'm not able to reuse the skill until that cooldown ends. You see again, I use a skill, everything goes on cooldown, okay? So, if I have a high cooldown, I will be able to use my skills in a faster pace, okay? Pretty much straightforward. That is what global cooldown is, okay? So having that in mind as well, but they have a nice, interesting indicator here that says that cooldowns relies on APM. APM is actions per minute to improve efficiency. What this is trying to say? What they are trying to say to you? They are trying to say that if you are bad at clicking fast, cooldown might not be the case, because if you are slow on clicking your skills, you won't have efficiency from that stat, okay? So have that as well in mind. In terms of APM, if you consider yourself slow on clicking skills, cooldown might not be so efficient. Nice indicator though. Now, let's move to hit. Hit reduces the target dodge. Ignore dodge rate of the same level battles 0%. Now, hit is an up to standard attribute and the value required by each boss is different. You can check the attribute required on the dungeon rate screen. Now, hit is an important stat. I wouldn't say that it's detrimental in terms of high-end progression specifically, but if we go to the dungeons and let me remember where we can see it. Okay, perfect. Okay, if you go to dungeons attribute, you will see an indicator here that says my gear score, my attributes, etc. How much combo it would be recommended to have for this battle. But also it says boss requirements 13 hit and I have 0. So what that means? That means that when we enter the battle, I have some lower chances for me to actually misses my hits or skills. This actually ratio right now it's low because it's only 13. But later on, for example, the boss requirements will be 50, 60 or above. If I still have 0, most of my hits will miss or most of my skills will miss. And because of that, we have to be prepared and get some hit from some items or outer sources to be able to actually be more efficient on the dungeon, okay? So have that in mind. It's not that detrimental in the early game, but later on you will need hit. For those that are thinking now how much hit should I have in the late game, I will say this, that in terms of very high-end optimization, okay, consider that like having in one item from all those 14 hit might be more than enough, okay? Gems, it's red gems I believe. Yeah, from red gems later on you can actually get hit as well. I don't know if it's so recommended, but as we've discussed earlier, for example, the highest level gem which provides 70 dexterity. If you remember, for example, 70 dexterity was like how much? Almost 1.2 damage, 1.2 attack. So it's not detrimental as well to play dexterity from gems. Maybe that 18 hit it's more viable, okay? Alright. Moving to focus. Focus it's pretty straightforward, ignores the target defense. Later on, from gear optimization, most of your gear, especially let me showcase that as well, because you might be intrigued to know high-end optimization. Okay, from other pieces as you can see, you can get dexterity, stamina, focus and hit, okay? So instead of picking, since you don't have combo actually to get from here or something else that it would be more viable, you have an option either to get hit, which as you can see from my high-end items you get 100, might be more than enough, but you're actually getting focus that reduces the enemy defense, and that might be more important. So stacking a lot of hit, it's not detrimental as well, but having is mandatory in the high-end game 100%. Resonance. Now, resonance affects how fast a player can gain inscribed stone energy and how powerful the inscribed stone skill will be during burst. They increase the recovery speed and the effect bonus for inscribed stone skill by 0.0%. The inscribed stone skill is this one that regenerates over time from your other skills. Let me showcase that pretty fast. You activate it, getting some bonuses, do more damage. As you can see on my screen, got floated out of burst, okay? Now, when I start to hit again or do skills, you will see a yellow indicator like a rainbow above my poison meter. You don't know actually what my poison meter is for new players, but it doesn't really matter. This indicator above, as long as I'm doing damage, getting bigger, and when we reach at the top, we can activate the inscribed stone skill. So stacking resonance will make you activate the skill even faster. Okay, critical damage, as we saw it earlier, with a flat 150%. It isn't 200 if from other games, if you have witnessed double damage from crits. It's not working like this in here. It works as usual. You do, for example, 100 damage, scales with 150% critical damage. The total value will be 150. Combo damage, as we saw earlier, the additional damage and healing caused by skills combos equal to the bonus ratio of attack. So, as I mentioned earlier, combos, it doesn't matter how much damage you will do from your skill, but how much attack you have, because the combo scales based on that. The glancing effect, okay, affects extra damage reduced after glancing, so it's 25%. You can boost it from sets or other sources that will provide flat percentage on the glancing effect. But it's a chance, remember that it's not always, it's like combo, chances to trigger, okay? Effect bonus, as we discussed earlier, provides a bonus to your final damage or final healing effect from Omni, okay? Getting Omni, getting final damage. If you're a tank, Omni will be converted instead of effect bonus to damage immunity rate. And what that does, that attribute provides a final reduction in the damage you are taking. So, instead of it's the same scaling actually like the effect bonus, okay? If you are about to receive 100 damage at the end after glancing, after physical defense applies, okay, the final damage that you will receive will multiply it based on the immunity rate. So if you have, for example, let's say that you were about to receive 100 damage after the defenses, after the glancing, okay, and you have 1% immunity rate, you will receive 99 damage instead, okay? Pretty straightforward. Maybe not pretty straightforward, but it is what it is. Okay, haste effect affects the release speed of base attacks, purely attack speed. We all know what attack speed does. Affects the casting speed of chanting and channeling skills. It's only based on channeling skills and chantings, but it's pretty damn OP. You can't get that stat though easily. And affects the global cooldown duration caused by skills. And what that means, it means this, that in case, for example, we have a priest on the party, okay, and he casts something that our global cooldown, for example, would be reduced, okay, it will affect it even more. There are some scenarios, for example, in the first dungeon you will experience it, at some point before the third boss, one skill will be casted, and your haste will be exploded, and you will see your global cooldown almost to zero, so you will spam skills with no, like tomorrow doesn't exist. So there is that, but it's a very rare stat, and most of those stats actually comes from very high-end game. You won't find them early on, and usually are from third stats, from enhanced attributes, sets, and etc. Energy saving chance affects the probability that the character will not enter the cooldown when releasing a skill. So you have a chance when you spam a skill, that skill do not enter to cooldown, so you will be able to use it again. Okay, pretty much it's an way of an important stat, especially for healers. Health stealing effect. Now, it's like lifesteal, but it isn't flat. By that I mean that if you have, for example, 10% health stealing effect and you will inflict 1000 damage, you have a chance, 10%, always it's 10%, okay? It's not guaranteed to get HP back. 10% to get 100 HP back, okay? Depending on the ratio, you will gain HP back with a chance. Reflect damage affects the ratio of taken damage reflected back to the attacker after glancing. So it's not something that will occur every time that you get damage. It's only if glancing applies. So let's say that I was about to receive after physical defense, after glancing take effect, I was about to receive 100 damage. Instead of 100 damage, actually sorry, I will receive that 100 damage because glancing applied. But if I have, for example, 5% reflect damage, the opponent will also receive 5 damage. Okay? Now, lastly, actually it's not lastly, we have activation effect. This one actually is very OP skill, OP effect, OP attribute to have for healers. Okay? And mostly it's for them. Affect damage bonus for the target healed. There is a 15% initial chance of increasing the target damage by 0.0% for 6 seconds. So, let's say that you have an activation effect of 10%. There is a 15% chance after you heal someone to buff him with a buff that will provide him, if you have 10% activation effect, with a 10% increased damage, okay, for 6 seconds. Huge! Trust me, this little thing is what makes high-end healers a must to the party, okay? Yeah, especially in 10-man raids later on in heroic, when they're gonna release heroic raids, it's gonna be huge. Also for challenges, for everything. And the two last stats, movement speed, it's pretty straightforward. It affects your movement speed in the game. I don't consider it such of an important spec to have, since you have blinks, skills that provide mobility. I'm referring to that because you will encounter with this stat later on when high-end gear will drop and you have a chance to get a third enhanced attribute. Let me find an item with 2 if I have. Okay, I have 2 enhanced attributes. Later on with gear score 110, you have a chance to get a third one. If you get a third one, there is a chance from the extra bonus that you get to be movement speed. So I consider that a bad roll, just to be mentioned, okay? And health recovery, we saw it earlier, health recovery every 5 seconds in non-battle state. So yet again, as I mentioned, you can't get HP health recovery when you're in combat. It's only working out of it. And with that being said, okay, 32 minutes, fuck me, I'm sorry or not. Let's make a wrap for this video. This was everything that you need to know about character stats on TarisLand. 2 days remain for the release. I hope you're hyped as me. I did a lot of work and effort in this game, but it wasn't just for content and stuff. I pretty much enjoy the game, and for those people that remained till now to the video, I want to also explain that I'm not a content creator that tries to grind content from different games. I like a lot to stay to a specific niche, so I won't cover anything else rather than TarisLand and a little BDM that I was playing. I don't want to let my people, they are unsatisfied, so I'm gonna stick only to those games with main priority TarisLand. And with that said, subscribe to the channel since you stayed 32 minutes with me. A huge shout out to you as well for that. Arigato for watching, and until next time, see ya!